What do you do when you've worked hard your entire life and you wake up one day and you no longer recognize it as your own? You're exhausted, you're depressed, you're a wreck. I invited a few of my girlfriends to open up about what they're going through and what they do to find their way through it. Hey, it's Kim Castle. You're watching kimTV, where you discover how to live agelessly. Most of us are clueless about the hormones that run every function in our bodies, and they can wreak havoc if you don't do something about it when they start to wane. It must be what Betty Davis meant when she said, "Old age ain't no place for sissies." Today I talk with 3 successful women who are not taking getting older laying down. Shannon Cherry is a marketing consultant with a saucy and, dare I say, wicked personality. Yes, Shannon, you have a wicked personality. She doesn't just rock boats, she flips them over if they need to be flipped over.
But I help them up. I help them out of the water.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. She teaches sponsorship training for speakers and anybody who wants to add that sponsorship component to their business. Also here is Debbie Dashinger. She is a success expert. She's an author, and she has a radio show, Dare to Dream, which is on 65 stations around, is it around the country or the world?
Both.
Both?
Yes.
Global, around the world. Also, I'd like to introduce you guys to Janice Martin. She is a business consultant helping small businesses in food service and retail, and I've only met her, but Janice, you have no idea how much I pick up off of you. You're sharp, you're edgy, and you say it like it is because that's what gets results. She is most proud of reaching 50, which she did yesterday. Happy birthday! So, do you have any words about reaching 50?
Bring it on.
I first want to recognize you guys, not just for joining me on the conversation, but for your willingness to talk about this, because I'm surprised, even in this day and age, that there are still women that don't want to talk about these changes that are going on in our bodies. I don't know if you've experienced this, but when you start to say, oh, I'm feeling this, or I'm feeling this, and you talk to somebody older, especially a woman who's older, she'll say, oh, that's just a part of getting older. And I think that keeps us in the dark. Rather than realizing, let's talk about what's going on, share what's worked, share what you're still working on, so that we can discover what's really going on, because there's so much we can do about it. Don't you agree?
Oh, for me, I'm 45, but people always say, when I've talked about it, because I'm early in my menopause process, they're like, you're too young, don't worry about it. I'm like, but it's happening.
Actually what I've discovered through this whole process is that it actually affects us much earlier than we realize. We only get to this phase of, let's say, 45, 50, in that period, that really the hormonal shift happens in our early 30s, and it takes 10 to 15 years for the subtle changes to show up, not so subtle.
And in different categories, whether it's a mental paranoia that comes over, a physical hot flash, sweating, that kind of thing, gaining weight, not gaining weight. And so all of a sudden, it's like what Debbie was saying earlier, I know I'm in a shift. I was like, I know I'm doing something I'm beside myself. It's like there's Janice over there, but you're trying to deal. So I think that it's like so many subtle pieces that all of a sudden, smack, you go, I think this might be getting older.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of those changes. Let's talk about anyone want to dive in and share one thing that they go, oh my God, this is happening?
Well, I'll tell you this cute story. I bought a 5-time magnified makeup mirror. And my girlfriend worked over, and my girlfriend come out of the bathroom. She goes, Janice, why would you buy that mirror like that? You can see every wrinkle and everything. And I said, yes, but I want to see those hairs before anybody else does.
Yeah, and I keep doing this. You keep doing this now because I have to keep reading like this all the time.
And I thought to myself, when did this all start happening hard?
I don't have night flashes, but I have day flashes. So I can be in the middle of life, and it feels like some rabid, crazy person has a thermostat on my body and is doing this, and they'll flip it up, whoosh, and I'll start schwitzing and sweating, and I'm so uncomfortable. I have to run out, take my socks off, stand on marble, and start to calm down. And then all of a sudden I get cool and I'm fine and walk around, and the crazy person comes in and again turns the thermostat.
Naturopath also said that red wine is not a great thing for hot flashes. For some reason it tweaks in there and also helps the hot flashes come on. So I switched to white.
It's the tannins actually in the red wine, because they're much they actually connect. They are a hormonal thing. You have tannins in the wine. It does. As much as they say there's a lot of good things about red wine, it helps your heart and stuff. If it's doing other things to your body, it's going to affect your hormones.
I'm drinking straight vodka now.
I was going to say, just go over the hard stuff.
For me, it's been an interesting journey because I had my children later in life. So my girls are 8 years old right now. And from that, so the hormones were already doing crazy things, and I had gone through an IVF treatment, which didn't work. So my hormones were everywhere. And then this was, the onset of menopause was starting to happen too. So what happened was I gained the weight from the IVF and all the other treatments I was going through. Then I got pregnant with twins, and then all of a sudden I couldn't naturally lose the weight that most people probably could shed off easily. I went from a size 6 to a size 16 in only a couple of years, and that's a lot, and I am still struggling to lose the weight.
And I hate it when the doctors say, and this is not all doctors, but I'm going to categorize the typical doctors will look at you and say it's like something you're doing that you're not doing, it's your fault, when they don't really address how the hormones all work together in our body. Because what I've discovered, and I didn't know this until this journey, is there are over 100 different hormones in our body calling every single one of the shots. And if one of them is slightly increased or decreased, it throws them all off. And it affects everything from our mind, our bodies, our outlook, our ability to focus. Is anybody not make it through the night? You wake up in the middle of the night, like wide awake, and you're filled with anxiety?
I just wake up in the middle of the night. It's not anxious.
I went through that, and I was saying earlier to the lady, like I seriously thought I was losing my nut, and and in that early or late hour, you start thinking like, I didn't do enough with the children. Maybe I should have stayed with my first husband, and then all of a sudden daybreak comes up, and you're like, what the hell was that?
See what you're feeling? It's not just you. That whole waking up in the middle of the night, wide awake in a puddle of your own stink stew, it's got to go.
I think I had a month or something where the sleep was weird. Mostly, frankly, I'm exhausted. By 8 or 9 o'clock, I feel so tired, I can't wait to go to bed. And I feel like my rhythms are changing. I can see my weight distribution has changed. And I have to say, emotionally, now I'm the elder here of all of us. I'm 56. And I'm just starting the tail end of perimenopause. I just stopped having my period recently. And I have noticed, grown-ass woman, I am telling you, I cry. I mean, I weep, I sob. If something's going on, I a little bit have no filter. It's kind of like, truth is there. It's who it is. I am who I am, and this is the way it is. And in a way, it feels like I'm shedding something. It feels terrific. And another way, it's a bit of a surprise what the physical process is doing to me and with me.
Anybody else hit depression?
Yes.
I was so depressed, and I'm normally annoyingly positive, probably stuck on too positive, like get her out of this room. I got to a point where I was really happy that it was a cloudy day, and I actually said to myself, "Oh, I'm so glad I don't have to match the sun."
Yeah. But I didn't know it until I finished it. I didn't know until it was a rearview mirror moment when I came out of it. I couldn't sit there and go, oh, I feel depressed, because I'm like you. I'm a AAA personality.
Totally, me too.
In my realm. However, there was a part of me that was saying, well, because you are you're charging your batteries. You're making excuses for the lack of energy, right? Oh, I'm just hanging in. Just, I do people all day. I do it all the time. So I'm just going to hang back here and charge my batteries. And then about 3 weeks later, I was like, I think you might have been a little down.
Oh, I was so depressed that I wanted to turn off everything. I mean, honestly, I thought about suicide. And I'm surprised that even was in my head, because I went, this is so not me.
That's so not us.
And I'm so grateful for talking about this. This has been like, wow, this has been really present for me, because this whole hormone shift, it happened quickly and it happened very recently. And when I say I got emotional and things were coming out without a filter, but it was every way. It wasn't about my being mean necessarily at all. It was just really like truth. And sometimes a little bit biting. And at the same time, I was feeling so much despair in my life. Yeah. And I'm a worker. I'm a workhorse. I'm a warrior, and the only thing I know is getting through and knowing what I want, creating it. And suddenly it wasn't working anymore. Wow, I haven't wanted to be here on this planet for a couple of weeks. And I never associated it with my hormones till this conversation right now.
Wow. Did you feel that? Now the conversation got real. Make sure you subscribe and turn email notifications on so that you can join us as the conversation continues. Thank you so much for inviting me into your life today. Be sure to share kimTV with a woman that you love. Till next time, live life on full. And if you're new here, welcome. Subscribe and make yourself known. Hi there. Every week I share tips and resources and answers on the anti-aging road back to vitality, energy, and feeling your best. By subscribing, you'll be personally notified when I do. And you can be a part of the conversation. Just log into YouTube with your Gmail account, subscribe by clicking on the red button, and share your experience in the comments section below. What do you do when you blah, 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 blah? Blah, 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 blah. You understand?
All I know is I don't have